Creating your own book is quite easy. First, we have to prepare our pages. I have decided to make a book that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 inches. So we will take some standard 8 1/2 inch by 11 inch paper and carefully fold it in half. It is very important to fold it exactly in half. Next, we will use a bone folder and make sure that we get a good sharp crease on all of our pages that we're doing. After we have prepared all of our pages, we need to cut 2 pieces of heavier paper called 65-pound paper or cardstock. We will need 1 each for the front and 1 for the back. This will serve to bind all of our pages together and serve as a stiffener for our leather cover. Now I will take our stack, as you can see here, and I will make sure that I am completely flat on the marble, as you can see, and I'll take these large paper clips and I'll put 1 on each end of this stack of papers. Next, I will take my stack of papers and put them just past the edge of this steel square. As you can see, I'll take a second steel square and place it on the top in the same position. Using one of the same clips that we used before, I will now secure the 2 blades of the square in position as you can see here, and we'll of course clip both ends so that it will remain in place and keep our paper in place. It is now time to prepare our pages for gluing. First thing we need to do is check to make sure that they're all lined up properly, and then we'll take some fine sandpaper and we'll sand down the edges as you see me doing here, and we'll sand it down so that we can prepare for the glue to penetrate and hold our paper. It is now time to apply the cement to the spine of our book. I would highly recommend the Tandy Leather Factory EcoFlow Leather Weld. This will work very well. Using this small dauber, we make sure we get a very liberal amount of glue on this edge. Now you'll need to move the clip a little bit so that we can make sure we get glue all the way down to both ends. And then we can just set it aside and let it dry. For this book cover, I have chosen a 2-ounce vegetable tan calfskin because I would like to do some designing and tooling on it. Since my book is 8 1/2 inches tall, I would like to add 1/8 of an inch to the top and the bottom for ease in construction, so I will cut it 8 3/4 inches wide. When open, the length of our paper is 11 inches, so we'll need to add to that the thickness, which we have about enough paper for 1/4 of an inch, and we'll add 1/8 inch to each of the ends as we did before. This will also equal 1/4 of an inch. So if we add 1/8 of an inch for the folds at the spine, we'll get a total of 11 5/8 inches. Here is our finished piece of leather. It's 8 3/4 by 11 5/8 inches. We have done our tooling and finishing on our leather. It's time now to fasten it to the book. I'd prefer to use a permanent contact cement for this job, and make sure you get good coverage on the entire back except for a strip in the center, which we will leave bare because this is where the spine will go, and we prefer not to have it cemented at the spine. So we'll continue to get good coverage here and then allow it to dry. We will also apply contact cement to the cardstock ends that we have put on the book. For starters, we'll just do the front. after we have allowed the cement to dry until it's tacky, being sure that we have our book right side up in relation to the cover before you stick it down. And now also keep in mind that we have 1/8 of an inch border around the top, bottom, and the sides. So we get this in place, then we can take our contact cement and we will now cover the back just as we did the front earlier. And of course then we will put this aside to dry until it gets tacky. After the cement becomes tacky, we can very carefully bring the back over and making sure that everything looks good, and it does, so we can now press it into place, and there's our book.